Agents of Chaos. Would you believe it's time for another movie review? That's right, I am back. And this week, I'm going to be talking about a film we saw a couple days ago, Spy X Family Code White. And it's the new anime film based on the anime series and manga at the same name. Excuse me. Very good. So, we're going to be talking about that this week, and I will be discussing specifically the English dub version, which is the one I saw. So, hey, Code White is directed by Takashi Katagiri, and the English cast for this is Alex Organ as Lloyd Forager, Natalie Van Sistine as Yor Forager, Megan Shipman as Anya Forager, Dallas Reed as Yuri Breyer. Dallas Reed as Yuri Breyer. Anthony Bolan as Frankie Franklin. Brian April is Fiona Frost. The talented Stephanie Young, also known as Nika Robin, is playing Sylvia Sherwood. And the villain, Sindel, is played by John Swashi. So, okay, quick explanation if you've never seen Spy Family before. It is basically like a American 60s sitcom where the family is weird and there's a weird thing about them that they're trying to keep from the neighbors knowing. Otherwise, it might get really awkward. I don't know. Always the fear of, I guess, being killed. This kind of fits into somewhere between a cross between Bewitched and Get Smart, frankly. Imagine if Max and 99 didn't know each other were agents, and maybe 99 worked for Chaos or something. Okay, make that reboot. Alright, so, Lloyd is, of course, he's a super spy, and Yor is a assassin who might be for the other side. It's not really strongly put out there. Like, it's kind of vague, but Anya, the daughter, is a escaped lab experiment. She has mental powers where she can read minds, and she knows everybody's secrets, which is interesting. And also, for her, probably very exhausting for a 6-year-old because she knows how everyone feels about her instantly, and she has to kind of fake her way through life. It's really well done. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But essentially, the plot really sounds complicated and convoluted if I really kind of start to explain it. Okay, how do I do it? Okay. Lloyd has put together this fake family in order to infiltrate the higher-ups in this government that he is trying to make sure that he can ensure peace between his two countries, a FACO version of East and West Europe during kind of the 60s era. I think DC rules as far as land masses and creation. So he's trying to infiltrate the higher-ups. The only place he can get to one guy is if he has a fake family and gets into the school that his son is in, so he can kind of like get close to him and ensure world peace. I'm not sure what exactly happens after that. This series hasn't gotten to that point yet. So anyway, he, unbeknownst to himself, gets a wife who is a assassin, maybe for the other side, maybe not. The daughter who has escaped lab experiment. And even the dog is another escaped lab experiment who actually he sees the future, which is an interesting combo of powers with him and Anya because she can read the dog's mind and see the future. That's trippy. So anyway, the plot of this film is basically to get higher up in the school, you have to win these Stella Stars, these little medals. And they're doing a cooking competition, and the judge loves this really rare dish. So Lloyd wants her to win because his assignment for this family, Operation Strix, is at risk. He's at risk at losing it to someone else. So in order to prove to them, like, hey, this slow and steady, long burn type of assignment, it's working. I'm getting there. So he decides, okay, we're going to win this thing, and we're going to find out what this guy's favorite dish is, and we're going to cook it and win. It's a very rare thing, and he decides to go with the family to go up north to the ski resort, where they make the best version of this Mary Mary pie, and they're going to learn how to put it together with the proper recipes, and maybe even get like a chef to help them with it. Meanwhile, while they're going up there on the train, Anya gets bored and breaks into this luggage compartment and swallows this very elaborately hidden chocolate, and runs away. And apparently it belongs to two higher up Secret Service guys who are very interested in keeping it, and they lose it and they freak out. But they are separated, so we go on with the plot of the story. And then, of course, what the problem is, the chocolate that Anya swallowed had a piece of microfilm in it, excuse me. And it is part of the plot of this ragtag group of soldiers that are breaking away from their government and going to start a war between the two countries. And they need this little piece of information on the microfilm in order to achieve success. Okay, all right, that's the plot. There's a lot. But it almost doesn't matter, because the way this film assembles this is so simple and so well structured that it really doesn't feel as complicated as I just made it sound. Because essentially, of course, they lay out the characters at the beginning of the film. It's like a 10-15 minute opening sequence where we get to see Lloyd do his thing, Yor do her thing, and Anya can read all their things. So, and of course, we get to see her at school and how her relationships with the other students and the teachers are. That is what this film is about. And everything else is kind of just dressing. Everything, the action stuff, the spy stuff, the intrigue stuff, supports the main part of the story, which is Act 2, which is the characters, the family kind of getting together as a unit, trying to achieve this thing of getting this recipe together. And that's what the story is. It's not about really the attack on the ski resort to start a new war. It's the family getting together to do this thing. And it's the thing that interrupts them. It's really unique in that, because as a movie, you expect this to be kind of a parody of classic James Bond tropes, and it really doesn't do that. There's only a little bit in here, not so much where you couldn't just make a case that these are just simple spy movie tropes or action anime tropes. The main focus is Act 2, where they're trying to put this together, and the little challenges, because this is a family that is made out of people who don't fit in, and this country is very focused on a kind of nuclear family setup, and if you don't fit into it, you're wrong, and all three of these people don't feel right, and together as a family, they feel right, and it's rather beautiful the way they put this together, as the series goes on. And this film does this too. Matter of fact, there's some sitcom-y tropes in here, where one of them is one of my least favorite sitcom tropes is the wife thinks the husband is cheating, and she's going to get all mad and naggy and cause the husband problems. The setup looks like that, with feeling like Lloyd is cheating on her with Fiona Frost, and of course it's a mistake. She kind of misinterprets something she sees, but it doesn't go there. It does something interesting with it, in that it doesn't put the plot on, oh man, she's nagging him. No, the plot is where that, how that affects her self-esteem, and where these kind of problems that she has with her own self-worth bubble up. And this causes all that to kind of surface for her and cause her. It leads with her. We are made to relate to her and how she feels in this relationship, and how she doesn't matter and how she's not good enough, which is insane when you can consider the fact that she can fight a cyborg and defeat it with a knife and lipstick, but she thinks she's not good enough. And that's really that's really strong. I found myself really emotionally attached to that. There's some excellent stuff with like the voice acting as well. Let's see, Organ, Van Sistine, especially Megan Shipman as Anya. All excellent work. They really play the humanity of these characters. I only have like only minor nitpicks. Like when we get into the action stuff, we get into like the part. Okay, here's the thing. Anya eats this piece of chocolate, and the bad guys catch her, and they know like the microfilm is in the chocolate. So like, oh, she hasn't pooped yet, right? Okay, once she poops, we're gonna get this microfish and then attack this city. We just gotta wait for this child to poop it out. And she knows this because she can read minds, and she's doing her best not to shit. And we have these two henchmen just trying to make this child crap. And we get this big animated scene of, I mean, it's almost a musical number. I don't know why they didn't go all the way and make it a musical number of her going into this different animation style, and it's her brain is just leaving her body, and she is just going into this weird fountain of universal characters trying to shit, and it's funny, and although I will say it maybe goes on maybe a minute or two too long, and it's so this show because it pivots when Sindel, the leader of the villainous general, he gets impatient and goes, okay, if she's not gonna shit, just get a knife, rip her open, get the microfish out of her stomach, just kill her, and if she's not gonna crap, just kill her, just kill the child. So we go from poop jokes to murdering a baby. So that's a pretty strong pivot for some people. I'm kind of used to it with this show, but oh boy, that's how this show does it. And that's kind of my own real complaint, really. I think this is a wonderful film. I think it's a good example of what this series, this franchise does. I don't know if this will play well with those who aren't familiar with it. I do think this is a good example of what it is. So I would recommend this to those who aren't familiar with the Spy Family and want to kind of get in without watching all the episodes of the show. I think it's a pretty good introduction to it. And if you're a longtime fan, I think it's a fun time. I do recommend it. I'm probably going to give this 4.5 out of 5 Ram chips. I think it's well worth your time. Go see it in theaters if you can, either in sub or dub, or it probably will be on Crunchyroll maybe at the time you're watching this video. So that's what I think. I really loved it and enjoyed it, so I hope you will too. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Spy Family, the film or the TV show, or just read the manga. Let me know in the comments below and give your thoughts. You can click the notification bell to get all things Manos, and you can find me everywhere. I'm on Facebook and Tumblr and Instagram. Let's see, Blue Sky and Threads, and Twitter. I'm still there. And you can support this channel at just $1 a month to $5 a month on Patreon. Now, quick thing, I'm going to be doing a full intro video about this in another day, but I do want to mention that I am starting a Substack where you can find more of my work. I'll get into that on a future video, so just to let you know that's happening. Anyway, I think I'm going to get out of here, so push the button, Chief.